Hey folks, my name is Theodore Abbott. I'm the news editor here at the Capilano Courier, and this is your news update for the month of April. So the first article I'm going to talk to you about is all about a set of summer courses being run out of CapU's new Squamish campus. So if you didn't know, CapU has a new campus in Squamish. These short-term courses, these programs run for about 11 days to a month, and they're open to a wide audience of people, and they also don't have any prerequisites. These courses focus on sustainability, field work, and different flexible delivery formats. So you can take the courses remotely or in person. And overall, this expansion of programming sort of signals CapU's commitment to this campus and the fact that they really want to serve the Sea to Sky corridor. Check that article out if you want to read more. Summer intensives, that's in print and online. Okay, the next article we have is Meet CapU's New President. Basically, this article is a Q&A with Dr. Jason Dooling, who is CapU's new president. This article delves into, Dooling's journey as an academic and as an administrator leading up to him taking this role at CapU. Coming into this role, Dooling brings experience in both Alberta and BC as a leader in the world of academia, also with experience as a former college president and educator with a focus on inclusion for folks who are differently abled. In the interview, Dooling also highlighted a strong commitment to Indigenous partnership and reconciliation, including plans to expand training, accessibility, and Indigenous knowledge within curriculum. Okay, so this next story is sort of a part 2/part 3 to part 1 that we ran on Yuri Fulmer, CapU's chancellor, and his political aspirations to be the leader of the BC Conservative Party. The chancellor sort of acts as an ambassador. They go out into the community, they represent CapU. In the words of the president of Capilano University, they sort of guide and represent the university's values. And it's also big news that the chancellor is running to be a leader of a major political party in BC, namely the BC Conservative Party. After we ran part 1 of the Yuri Fulmer story, we heard back from a lot of CapU students who were understandably shocked and somewhat concerned about Yuri's political aspirations. Now, one of his campaign promises is to repeal DRIPA, which is basically the British Columbia government's implementation framework of UNDRIP, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Yuri also, notably, has recently teamed up with a well-known residential school denialist, Dallas Brody, who is a former member of the BC Conservatives, but then she was kicked out of the BC Conservative Party, which is a pretty hard thing to do, for being a racist against Indigenous people and making a series of anti-Indigenous comments on a podcast. Then Dallas Brody got kicked out of the party and started a political party called One BC, which is a very far-right party that has sort of become a leading force in the residential school denialist, and Yuri has been running on this Unite the Right platform in his bid to be BC Conservative leader. Now, clearly, some of these actions, some of these campaign decisions are in clear conflict with CapU's values, specifically with regard to truth and reconciliation. Now, in our first article on this topic, we reached out to Yuri's campaign team because we wanted to comment. The response that we got back was basically that Yuri didn't want to be seen as politicizing the role of CapU chancellor, and he wanted to have a clear separation of church and state, right? We also reached out to the university administration and more or less got stonewalled, saying that they didn't want to comment on Yuri's political aspirations. But in spite of this, Yuri Fulmer actually used CapU's campus as a backdrop for some of his campaign videos. And then in another video, he's actually inside and literally on campus grounds. And in response to this, the university initially said, well, technically he's actually on the road. He's not actually on campus property. But then, more videos came to light where he was very much on literal campus property. And in response to this most recent development for videos where he's making certain campaign promises that the university definitely wouldn't endorse, we haven't got a response from the university. Now, with regard to Yuri's campaign, things continue to develop. Fulmer, referring to his ceremonial duties as performative and promising to sledgehammer the very system on which CapU's principles and values are founded, may be the last straw for a lot of CapU students and CapU faculty. But will it be enough to get the university to adjust their neutral stance? To read more about this, and to actually read the quotes that we have from students and the quotes that we have from faculty, check out this article online at the CapU Courier website. Now, the next article that I'm going to talk to you about is all about a summer course happening here at CapU focusing on the impacts of FIFA 2026. Now, of course, Vancouver is hosting FIFA, and to study and look into the impacts of this massive global event, CapU is running a special course in collaboration with an organization called VOR Urban Labs. And as that course concludes, the Courier is actually going to be running a special edition of our zine, where students who have taken the course and other students will be invited to submit their findings and their research and their reflections, all with regard to FIFA. So check out that course and check out that zine issue, all coming in summer 2026. If you are interested in contributing to this special edition of the Capilano Courier's zine, the CC Crumb, contact us at editor@capilanocourier.com, which is right here as well. And yeah, be a part of the FIFA conversation. Okay, now for a little CSU update. After the school year ended, there were some pretty big developments over at the CSU. Specifically, the CSU president and VP Finance were removed from office due to alleged misconduct. So the Courier reached out to the now former president and VP Finance to comment on these recent turn of events. They sent a joint statement on April 3rd in which they affirmed that they were treated as criminals right from the start, and instead of a fair process, they described it as a personal vendetta dressed up as governance, carried out by one individual who acted as complainant, investigator, judge, and executioner all at once. Meanwhile, the elections administrator maintained in her March 28th letter that the attempted motion, which took place during an in-camera portion of the meeting, basically surmounts to compelling evidence that certain directors, specifically President Harjot Singh and Director Marhaveen Machada, were seeking to direct, pressure, or interfere with an election matter that the bylaws place beyond board control. As such, it will be up to the remaining directors to review the process and assess if this highly efficient accountability mechanism is working as intended. On the other hand, the elected president, VP External, and VP Student Affairs have started their terms early. So considering that the VP Finance position is still vacant, the Courier was interested to know whether or not a by-election is going to take place to fill that position, or if, like last year, 4 directors will do the work of 5. So if you want to read more about this article, check it out online, and that's your CSU update. Anyways, that was your April Courier update. Thanks for checking this out. As always, if you're interested in contributing to the Courier or our zine, get in contact with us, shoot us an email, shoot us a DM, and even stop by the office here on the CapU campus. My name is Theodore Abbott. I'm the news editor. See you guys soon.